Bonjour à tous, bienvenue sur LanguageCraft. Depuis Gamescom 2014, on se retrouve devant Civilization Beyond Earth, qui est donc le nouveau jeu dans la série Civilisation. J'ai pu voir une présentation de Firaxis, qui est donc le studio de développement, et j'ai également une interview, donc je vous propose de le regarder tout de suite. Ok, donc je viens juste de voir la présentation pour Civilization Beyond Earth, qui est donc le nouveau Civilisation, et je me retrouve avec celui qui nous a fait la présentation, donc on va pouvoir discuter avec lui et lui poser quelques questions. So hi!
Hi, I'm Pete Murray from Firaxis Games. We're the studio that's doing Sid Meier's Civilization Beyond Earth. Thanks for having me on your show.
Absolutely. So what exactly do you do at Firaxis?
I have two really fantastic jobs. One is I'm the marketing manager there, so I get to come to Gamescom and show off the hard work that the team's put in. But on Beyond Earth, I was also a writer, which was fantastic. I got to help create some of the descriptions of the wonders in the game, write some of the tech quotes. It was great. It was probably the most fun I've had at work lately in terms of, kind of the creative side of it.
I'm a big creative guy myself. Writer sounds like a very interesting...
It was fascinating, going back and forth with the designers and saying, okay, well, how do you see this wonder in the game working? What's it supposed to do? How do you see the people of the planet reacting to it? And building that into the game. And part of what I really enjoyed about games like Alpha Centauri is how much background they're able to create in your own mind, just with a word or a phrase or a quote by somebody. So that was just so much fun to work on.
I have a few questions, and I'm sure this one has been asked again and again.
Sure.
This is the 6th Civ game, I believe. Why futuristic now?
Well, Firaxis gets asked all the time, can you guys make a futuristic Civ? And it makes a lot of sense, because Civ is the story of what happened in the past, and everybody wants to know, okay, well, what's the story of what comes next? And in this case, it was a couple of factors. It's always a matter of the timing. So we have a team that at this point knows a lot about making a game with a Civ 5 engine, and they were ready to do so. And, good designers who were ready to work on it. The stars kind of align, and everybody says, okay, now's the time.
All right. Good. You talked about affinities, so how the different factions see their life on the planet. How do those affect gameplay?
Oh, geez, the affinities go all the way through gameplay. So let's just cover them again real quick. There's 3 of them. Purity is the belief that human beings are good as they are, that it's inherently good to be human, and so when you land on a planet, you can transform it into a copy of Earth because it's worth saving people as they are. Another belief is harmony, which is they want to transform human beings into something like a native species for this particular planet. Okay. So they're masters of genetic manipulation and kind of organic computing, and so what they're trying to do is say, no, we're going to tie ourselves very closely to this so we don't get alienated from the planet maybe the way we did on old Earth before we left. And then contrasted to those two is supremacy, that says you need to be independent of any world you live on. You need to have the technology to be able to live anywhere, because otherwise you're placing yourself at risk if something were to happen to the planet that you're on. So supremacy goes in very heavily for cybernetics and augmentation and things like that. And in gameplay, this touches every system. Affinities are tied to the upgrades for units. They're tied to the technologies. Choosing specific technologies on the tech web is the most common way to raise your affinity. Touches on diplomacy. So if you're a different affinity from somebody, your relationship's going to be a little bit tougher than if you share them. Although, being the same, as we showed in today's demo, being the same affinity as somebody is no guarantee of peace. So we had the American Reclamation Corporation and the Slavic Federation, and they're both supremacy and at war with each other at the same time.
Okay. All right, great. During the presentation, you talked about the warp gates as a victory condition.
Yeah.
Are there others?
Yeah, there are 5 victory conditions in the game. 3 of them are tied to your affinity and represent sort of tech victories. Okay. And then there's 2 victories that are common to everybody. So purity builds a warp gate, brings refugees from Earth and settles them on this new planet.
Oh, the warp gate is since their purity.
Yes. Yeah, yeah. Okay. So that's they say, okay, we owe a debt to the people of Earth. Let's make a new Eden for them, and so they bring everybody forward. Supremacy turns that around and says, you know what? We now have the tools to make life easier on Earth, so we're going to go back and we're going to liberate Earth. So they build a warp gate, but they send an army through to go back and save humanity from the situation there, which is interesting. Harmony has a different victory condition. What they do is they discover that the planet has this like latent consciousness to it, and they make contact with it, and eventually are able to merge collective human consciousness with this collective alien consciousness in a transcendence kind of a victory. And so those are the 3 affinity victories. The remaining 2 are a contact victory, which is an homage to Carl Sagan's work. And you discover a signal for an alien species out there in the cosmos. You build a device and you make contact with them, and you act as ambassadors of humanity into the galaxy, which is pretty cool. And then it's not civ if you can't win by beating everybody in the game, so the domination victory is there as well too.
Of course. Okay, good. And last question, you personally, or perhaps the crew in general, what's the feature that you're most excited about?
Oh, gee. Yeah, in a game like Civ, it's hard to pick like one feature because stuff goes through every system. That's really tough. I've never thought about which one I like best. I think I like the affinities. I like the idea of kind of encapsulating this philosophy and its attitude towards the future. And I really like the way the designers implemented it through the entire game, that it just comes across really, really well. It feels really well integrated, touches on the aesthetic of the unit, the ways they look, the way the cities look. It's such a comprehensive change. But by the same time, the tech web's new, so there's no more like critical path that we know of yet.
During the presentation, you mentioned that one of the characters we met was farther down the supremacy as someone else. Does that mean that they evolve? They physically evolve during the game?
See, and the leader's clothing and features will change too. So as they start to go down the harmony line, they'll start to get like patterning and weird green texturing on the side of their head and things like that. Yeah, it's a really nice visual step. So when you see somebody, you instantly know what direction they're going.
All right. Well, I'm personally very excited for the game, so thank you so much for showing me.
Oh, my pleasure, and we're excited for everybody to play it. Thank you for having me on.
Absolutely. Donc voilà, un grand merci à eux pour avoir répondu à toutes mes questions. C'est vachement intéressant, je pense que c'est dans la lignée logique d'être futuriste. Moi j'adore ça, donc c'est tout bénef. Ça utilise toujours le moteur de Civilization 5, mais j'ai cru comprendre que ce serait sans doute le dernier jeu dessus. Et une question que j'ai oublié de poser, c'était sur le multi dans Civilization 5. Pour le multi, tout le monde hébergeait la partie. Si c'est toujours le cas dans Beyond Earth, ça risque de poser problème parce que si jamais il y en a un qui lag, ça pose problème pour toute la partie. Donc j'espère que ce ne sera pas le cas. En tout cas, il sort très très bientôt. Moi, je vais clairement me le prendre. Donc si ça vous intéresse, ce genre de jeu de stratégie, n'hésitez pas, il a l'air vraiment bon. Voilà, merci à tous. Salut.